You ever feel like you're working harder and harder, but your financial situation just isn't changing? Like you're stuck on a treadmill, running faster and faster just to stay in the exact same place. We're always told that wealth is about hard work, or maybe just getting lucky. But what if the real key isn't out there somewhere? What if it's in here?
So let's just dive right in with the core idea from the book we're looking at today. It says, your wealth will rise to the level of the person you become. Just let that sink in for a second. It's not about what you do to get money, it's about who you have to become. It's basically saying your bank account is just a mirror, and it's reflecting your own personal growth.
Right? That's a great question. Become a new person sounds, well, it sounds huge, but what does that actually look like in the real world? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack. We're going to explore this idea that financial success isn't really about some external strategy, but it's more of an inner game, a game of identity, beliefs, and habits.
So here's the bottom line. Your financial situation isn't some accident. Nope. It's a construction project. What's happening inside your head, your identity, what you believe deep down, your unconscious daily habits, all of that is literally the blueprint that's building the financial reality you see around you.
Okay, so to understand how this whole construction project works, we got to start with the foundation, right? And that brings us to pillar 1, your invisible financial blueprint. Think of this as your subconscious programming, the automatic rules that are quietly guiding every single money decision you make, from the opportunities you even notice to the income you think you're actually worth.
At the very core of your blueprint is what our source calls your financial identity. And the metaphor for it is just brilliant. It's a thermostat. Just like the one on your wall, it's set to a normal temperature for your finances. So if you get a big bonus, things heat up. But that internal thermostat kicks in and unconsciously finds ways to cool things down, maybe through a spending spree just to get you back to what feels comfortable and familiar. It's why lottery winners so often go broke. And it's why some entrepreneurs can lose everything and then build it all back from scratch. Their thermostat's just set to totally different temperatures. And this identity, it tends to play out in one of two ways. Are you operating with a consumer mindset, where your focus is on spending and using up resources? Or are you operating with a creator mindset, which is all about producing value and building assets? As you can see, one path is naturally going to drain your wealth, while the other is designed to grow it.
So where does this whole identity even come from? Well, a lot of the time it's built on these things called invisible fences, the beliefs about money we picked up when we were kids. These are the quiet rules we live by without even realizing it. Money is stressful, or rich people are greedy, or success is for other people, not people like me. They act like fences, totally boxing us in and limiting what we believe is even possible for us financially.
Okay, so if the blueprint is the plan, how do we actually start building? Well, that brings us to pillar 2, the engine. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's where we turn that mindset into real action, the consistent, deliberate work that actually builds wealth. And this quote right here is the key that starts the engine. Thinkers build wealth and reactors lose it. It forces you to ask a pretty tough question. Which one are you? Are you a reactor, driven by emotion and short-term panic? Or are you a thinker, driven by strategy and a long-term vision? According to this book, one path builds wealth, and the other one pretty much guarantees you're going to lose it.
And this table just lays the difference out so clearly. I mean, look at the approach. Thinkers use analysis and they look ahead, while reactors are all about impulse and emotion in the moment. And the focus, long-term vision versus short-term gains. But maybe the most important one is how they handle failure. Thinkers learn from it. Reactors, well, they just repeat the same mistakes. It's not about being smarter, it's about being more deliberate.
And this deliberate approach, it really shows up in our daily patterns. A lot of us are just running on what you could call survival habits, like that impulsive spending to make ourselves feel better after a bad day, which just keeps us stuck. The big shift happens when we intentionally replace those with prosperity rituals. These are small, consistent actions, like doing a daily financial review or automating your savings. They might seem tiny, but they compound over time to build a real foundation of wealth. And the source gives us a really clear 4-step game plan for building these new rituals. Step 1, just identify your current patterns. No judgment, just see what's there. Step 2, define exactly what you want your financial future to look like. Get specific. Step 3, design the new rituals that are actually going to get you there. And finally, step 4, implement and reinforce them. You do them over and over until they become automatic. See, this isn't about luck.
It's about systematically engineering your own success.
So we have the blueprint and we have the engine. What's the fuel? Well, that brings us to our final piece, Pillar 3, your value. This is a huge shift because it's where we stop focusing on trying to get money and start focusing on becoming someone who creates the value that money is naturally attracted to.
Oh, this is another game-changing idea. We're so often taught that hard work is the key, but you know what? Effort alone is not enough. The world doesn't pay you for the hours you work. It pays you for the problems you solve, for the results you create, for the value you deliver. It's exactly why two people can work the same number of hours but have drastically different incomes.
And this slide illustrates the two paths perfectly. On one side, you've got the effort trap, working harder and harder, being busy, but not actually creating more value. You're just spinning your wheels. On the other side, you've got the value principle, focusing all your energy on solving meaningful problems. Because when you solve problems, you create impact. And in the world of money, impact is profitable.
So how do you become more valuable? It's not about chasing the latest hot trend. It's about building 5 core internal capacities. The source says you need to master a valuable skill, sharpen your thinking, develop emotional intelligence, become a go-to problem solver, and be relentlessly reliable. Notice the pattern here? Every single one of these are things you become, not things you go out and get.
And that, right there, brings everything together. The 3 pillars, your inner blueprint, your wealth-building engine, and your economic value. They all point to this single powerful conclusion. The goal isn't to run after money. The goal is to build an identity, a set of habits, and a capacity for value that is so strong, so undeniable, that money has no choice but to follow you.
So, let's end with the one question that really sits at the heart of this entire philosophy. Don't ask, what do I need to do to get more money? Instead, ask yourself this question right here. Who must I become for money to find me naturally? It's a question that puts all the power right back in your hands. It frames your financial journey not as a hustle, but as a journey of personal growth. And the answer to that question? Well, the answer to that question could change everything.